This is a public service podcast sponsored by the 712 crew and the good folks of Are We Recording Entertainment.
Fellow Americans, it is with the utmost pride and sincerity that I present this recording as a living testament and recollection of history in the making during our generation.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Welcome, everybody, to episode 11 of the Are We Recording podcast. Small group here tonight. I'm not going to talk about too much, but I'll let Ryan introduce Ryan first today. His team had the biggest win in program history yesterday, and I'll just shut up and let him go. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
It is a great day to be a Nebraska Cornhusker. Yesterday was a great day to be a Nebraska Cornhusker. The sun's showing a little brighter today. The bird songs were a little sweeter.
Okay, all right.
It was great. It's great.
All right, enough of that.
You really let him go, huh?
I wasn't having any of that.
Less than 30 seconds of talking.
New Chris on the block. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Still cold in Boston, and yeah. Everything else is going swimmingly, though.
I love the East Coast weather update every single time.
Dude, I gotta help you guys out. You guys are in the Midwest. Chris is on the West Coast. I'm the only one, man. It's New England weather. It's a freaking crapshoot.
You want to know how warm it was today here? It got to 85 degrees.
Bro, it was so nice out today. Oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm waking up at 8 a.m. tomorrow to play basketball. I bought a basketball today on the way home from work. Set my alarm for 8 a.m. to go find a park and play. I can't wait. Chris, OG, West Coast. How is it out there?
The basketball was not the only team to pull off a big upset over the weekend. Oregon beat Arizona and may have locked up a spot in the NCAA tournament in doing so, which is amazing considering the fact they were like 2-8 at one point in conference.
What? So that's everybody's team here is going to make the tournament, right? Nobody is Colorado going to make it?
Bracketology has them projected to be a 10 seed right now, and if they do, right now they're actually projected to play UMass, which would be kind of hilarious for me.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean, not that I really have a dog in that fight because whoever wins, I guess I could be okay with it. So
right.
Could you go and like trash talk UMass kids?
I could, but I didn't actually go to Colorado, so all of my buddies, like half of my graduating high school class who actually went to UMass Amherst can, kind of hold it over me that they actually went to the school that they're pulling for.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Worth it.
I meant like actual UMass kids that are there now.
Just go stand on campus.
There was a big riot at UMass over the weekend, actually,
so
I'm sure half of those kids are in jail. So,
all right, so let's get to what we recorded for this week. Chris, OG, what did you have for us?
I was paying attention to kind of how Tiger Woods didn't really fare very well on Sunday for the second Sunday in a row. At least this time he made it through his round. The time before he quit halfway through. He's apparently dealing with back issues, which isn't that much fun, but at the same time, it feels like if he is actually dealing with back issues, he should probably just sit out and not try to play every week.
Is he gonna win a major this year?
That's actually what I kind of want to know. This is the year that he targeted to be his big year, and at this point, I think that you'd probably have to favor him to win at least one, but at the same time, if he's going to be dealing with back issues the entire year, it's entirely possible that he won't, just because that's really not a good thing to have to deal with while trying to play golf.
I hope he does. I mean, I'm not a big golf guy, but Tiger's always kind of Tiger's almost like if golf had like a team like that most casuals rooted for. I bet Tigers is like the Lakers of golf or like the Yankees of golf, if that makes sense, but not in a douchey way. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, actually. Can somebody?
I know what you mean. I get it, because most diehards of golf, that follow it, aren't the biggest Tiger fans because Tiger is kind of an asshole. So, but most people who just watch golf from afar, just from Sports Center highlights, like to see Tiger succeed. So
Yeah,
I get where you're coming
Tiger.
from.
You know, I mean, it's like I don't really. I mean, I know other names.
I'd like
but
to.
honestly,
I'd like
I
to
don't
see him win a major. I'd like to see him win because it's momentous. I like to see big moments in sports that things I won't see ever again.
No, you're right. Moving on, Ryan. What do you have? What did you record for us?
Well, last night was a very, very, very big night
Oh my god!
in Nebraska basketball
Drink.
history. You had to know. It was coming here.
Did I have to know?
Yes, you had to know.
Go ahead. No,
They
go
take
ahead.
down. They
I'll let
take
you-
down the number 9 Wisconsin Badgers, 77-68 at home, all but locking up their spot to the NCAA tournament. And
I don't know, man. What if they bow out in the first round? Did
They
we
have
lose
a
you?
bye, so they can't.
it's way too. Yeah, they have a better 4 seed.
Well, they're
They're actually
first game,
higher
I mean.
seated higher than Ohio State is in the Big Ten tournament.
That's
So
crazy.
take that in.
You want to know what's crazier? They are a missed tip-in away from finishing second. If they get a tip-in against Michigan, they finish second. They finish only behind Michigan in the Big Ten.
And if I
But,
had wings, I would fly to the top of a mountain.
They are close to having wings. I'll put
And if I had a
that on.
DeLorean,
But
I would go back to 2003 and push everybody out of the way in Wrigley in the stands.
point being, well, no point because this is just what we recorded. But
happy.
going back, yeah,
You
I'm
say
happy.
it, I'm kind of thirsty. Yeah,
there's
just
almost-
one more time.
There's almost no way you can keep them out of the tournament at this point. To answer your question, I mean, they have 2 victories over top 10 teams. Or if Michigan State's not top 10 now, but they were at the time. And yeah, I mean, those are huge RPI victories, and can't keep them out of the tournament at this point. They're actually, according to Joe Lenardi, they're now off the bubble. They don't have to play in the first 4.
Oh, they're not even on the bubble. They're
Yeah,
they're
they're
blowing
off the
bubble.
bubbles.
They're
They're blowing
locked.
bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I forget who had said that they were actually going to be projected to play in the first round.
I think it's at UCLA
That's not a bad matchup actually.
in San Antonio. Nebraska would flood San Antonio.
It's what,
They
like an
always
11,
do.
it's like an 11 seed, 11-6.
Yeah, it's a 6-11 matchup.
11-6.
And then if they win, they would have to play the winner of projected Iowa State versus North Carolina Central.
Well, we'll see.
Barn burner.
I was.
Hey man,
I mean,
I don't sleep
nothing-
on Iowa
nothing-
State's good.
Nothing will surprise me with this team. I'm not expecting them to win it. Not expecting them to maybe win a tournament game this year, but just to be in the tournament this year, big time. Especially
Big
after
time.
starting 0-4 in
Everybody
conference.
drink. Okay.
Are we done? Is it my turn?
I think
That's
so.
fine.
I think so. Everybody take a chug, and then 2.0, you can go ahead.
I don't think you get how. I'm just.
We
so
I get
excited.
it.
We get it.
We get it. Go ahead, 2.0.
I recorded championship week. Some of the tournaments are already over. Florida Gulf Coast lost to Mercer in their championship, in the Atlantic Sun championship, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to miss Dunk City in the tournament this year. That was a lot of fun last year when they
That
took
was-
down Georgetown and San Diego State.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wonder if we're going to get another team like that in the tournament this year. I don't know if we're going
Nebraska.
to get a fit.
Shot, drink.
I set myself way too easily for that one.
You can just mention basketball, and you're really
So I don't know if
It's not even clever.
we'll see that again with the projected 15 seeds that are in the tournament right now. But last year was a lot of fun. And I hope we see something similar this year. Just screw up everybody's bracket.
I think that's what everybody wants,
know-
really.
You know who else Florida Gulf Coast lost to? Nebraska.
All right.
Wonderful.
Drink, and I recorded yesterday. Joakim Noah officially. I think yesterday, if it wasn't there already, yesterday I think sealed the deal. Noah is officially. He's a Chicago legend. That status doesn't come easy, and he's earned it. It is unbelievable watching him play. And no, Chicago right now loves nothing more than when the Heat lose. And man, he just doesn't like the Heat, and he doesn't care who knows it, man. And you know what? Good for him. I apologize to Joakim Noah because I, along with most everyone else, hated the draft pick at the time. It's not what we needed. It was just another, oh my God, somebody else who can't score. I was so sick of it. And then You know, it happened, man. Noah became Noah, and he became great. His passion, his fire, it's just unbelievable, man. And his dad being there yesterday when he gave him the interview and his dad went crazy, that was such
a good moment.
Yeah, that was a cool-ass moment. He kept pointing to him in the stands, too, all night.
Noah's got that freak genetic line, too, from his parents and stuff and his whatever, so, I mean, yeah.
He's officially a Chicago legend now, man. He's on the list. He's on the short list. Good for him. Congratulations, Joakim Noah, for being you and being awesome. And if he doesn't get first-team center this year, it's going to be a goddamn Greek tragedy. Moving on, Phil Jackson, the greatest coach of all time. He is apparently purportedly close to signing a front office deal with the New York Knicks. And it's sending at least the basketball world a buzz, because anytime Phil Jackson decides to do anything, everybody just collectively freaks the fuck out. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is a match made in heaven, or do you think this is a disaster waiting to happen?
I think it's going to be tough for Phil Jackson, because whenever he's been a coach of a team, he's had that guy with a killer instinct. He had MJ and Kobe, and Melo's not that. Yeah, Melo's not that guy. I mean like a scorer, not a big man. And Melo's not that guy to me. He can score in buckets, but I don't think he has the determination to be great. Maybe Phil can light that fire underneath him, and that's only if he ends up being a coach of the team. Because now
he's not coaching. No way he coaches.
You don't think so? Eventually,
no, he's done. He doesn't want to coach, man.
I don't know, man. But all right, regardless, I think that for Phil Jackson to go back to basketball, New York's a great place. You know, potentially bring back that basketball mecca that was supposed to be New York. You know,
he played there. He has no qualms about saying that he played there either. He's
right. It could work, but he definitely needs to bring in some players that tend to have more of a winning attitude, because right now the Knicks are awful, just terrible. Anybody else thinks?
I was just going to jump in and say I'm not always the biggest fan of, old coaches moving into that GM slot, especially after a few years out of the game. I don't think it translates always the best, moving coaching from front office, because unless you were in that, and I don't think he was a coach CEO or a coach in the GM. And
he had a lot of personnel. He wasn't a GM by any means, but he had say in personnel. He had say in all of his stuff.
I think any great coach does, but you have to give him, that credit on that front, is that everywhere he's gone, he's been successful coaching. But at that point, like Chris said, he's had, two superstars also waiting for him at both places. Is he going to be able to, build a team from scratch almost? Because really, he has Carmelo, but Carmelo's not. Maybe, exactly. He's there right now, but he's not, on that type of. He's not a Kobe MJ type player. He's not even a Kevin Durant type player. So it'll be interesting if he does take the job to see if he can build from nothing, because really it's a lot of raw material. New York is a blessing and a curse in the sense that it won't be hard to lure players to go there, but at the same time, if you don't win, and you don't win big, and you don't win quick, you're not going to last very long.
OG, how do you feel about this?
Seems kind of like he might actually be a year off in taking this job. They have a ton of salary coming off the cap after next season. So they do have a lot of trade assets, would be the one good thing, but you're going to have to rebuild with not very much cap space at all the first year if you're going to do it. And I don't know, it seems like at least recently the places he's stepped in, he's kind of had a good core of players already there, and whatever the opposite of that is kind of what the Knicks are at this point, just not a very good roster.
But here, you guys keep saying he keeps coming into these situations with with all, I mean, and it's true. He had MJ, he had Scotty, and then he had Shaq and Kobe, and then he had Kobe again. But let's go to the track record to those teams before Phil got there.
No, but
I'm not saying that is.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like those teams had more talent than the Knicks, or maybe not more talent necessarily, but they were definitely a better constructed team than the Knicks have right now.
Well, that's not the case. I mean, I think in terms of just him being able to have success in this job, I think he can. I don't see why you would ever bet against Phil Jackson to have success.
No, it's not necessarily that, or necessarily that he's had teams handed to him, good teams handed to him. It's just I don't think it's as big of a slam dunk, pardon the pun, hire as people think. I think it'll be interesting. I think he can do it. I think if he wants to, and I think he'll be successful in it. But I don't know if it's by far and away the best hire. I always think when you're going for a GM, I always think it's best to go up and comer rather than on the way out the door. It just seems to be the best way to go.
Do we know that the position that he's potentially getting is absolutely the GM, and it's not director of basketball operations or some other title?
I think it's kind of what Larry Bird is in Indiana. I think it's more of like he's just kind of controlling things. He's not necessarily the GM, but he's like, like you said, like director of basketball operations or something like that. Okay. I think that was because I don't think
he'll have some say, but it's not like he's going out and he's not signing these guys. I'm sure he'll have everything he say will be taken very seriously, but he's not the guy that's actually getting these guys to put their names on paper.
And you know what? Yeah, he's not the one that's necessarily doing all that GM stuff, the grunt work. He's not going to be doing any of that. But Chris, you on the chat here brought up a good point. Jim Dolan is like the worst owner going right now in sports. And
besides maybe Jerry Jones?
Yeah, besides maybe Jerry Jones. Probably okay, besides Jerry Jones.
You gonna do a terrible Jim Dolan impression too?
I don't count on those. If I had my guitar still, I'd bust out a few riffs for everybody. Well, here's the thing. I don't think Phil would take the job unless Dolan said he was going to give him power. But I mean, who knows how long that? I mean, the dude's got the ego the size of Manhattan, so it's like I don't know how long that's going to last. But I think that's the only way he can succeed. But I think Phil's too smart to take a job that he knows he's not. I mean, he's not an idiot. Phil's no dummy. I think it's going to work.
I agree with that.
Does this make Melo stay? Real quick,
he wants to stay anyway, so I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, he's going to have to take a pay cut regardless, so if he really wants to stay in New York, this only entices him to stay there.
I don't know. He's leaving. He's out of there. With or without Phil. Anybody else agree with me or disagree? Let's hear it.
I guess the other thing we could ask is if he doesn't say, where does he end up going?
Well, I think that's a discussion for a different day.
Why? Because you don't want him on the Bulls? Is that why?
Well, no, it's not that I don't want him on the Bulls. I just don't think he's coming to the Bulls. Honestly, I would gladly take him on the Bulls because if he came, he would realize what he's getting himself into with Thibodeau and the way the team runs. He's not going to come here and take 20 shots a game.
Not to get too deep into it, but if let's say Carmelo does go to Chicago and they go back again, they get back to full strength with Rose and everyone. He's not going to be the face,
right? Well,
which I think will help.
Yeah, no, that would honestly Melo's probably best career choice right now is to go to Chicago. Well, I don't know. That's tough to say. I don't want to send any negative energy Derrick Rose's way, but I mean, man, who knows what he's going to come back like?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if Phil necessarily makes him stay because how much player to I don't know how much contact he's going to have with him. You know what I mean? It's going to be his coach.
Well, so, he's not going to be.
But if he handpicks a coach or something like that, then that might be different. But I don't know if that directly just flips the switch and makes him stay.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that goes down. This should be a fun summer in the NBA. A lot of moving parts could potentially be happening, and next year's NBA could look a lot different than this year's NBA. Let's move on to which. Well, Hopefully it'll look a lot different in the Bulls point guard department. God bless DJ Augustine, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody else have anything to say before we move on to this? Move on to NFL free agency?
No, let's talk some football.
Let's talk some football. NFL free agency starts up as of this recording tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Tuesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, right? 4 o'clock Eastern?
Yes, sir.
NFL free agency is funny because it all happens seemingly within like 12 hours. Like everything happens, and then after that, it's kind of like the guys who are left are like, "Why haven't they signed? What's wrong with their this, that, and the other thing?" And then that's when the rumors start going crazy. So I don't know. I've always found NFL free agency to be kind of funny.
Even though free agency hasn't technically kicked off, teams are able to start negotiating. They just can't come to any terms.
Legal tampering.
Right.
No legal tampering. Teams are currently contacting free agents and vice versa. So that's kind of why that goes down like that. It kind of makes it a little anticlimactic because things start to come out before the actual start, and then it's just sign on the dotted line and it's over.
It actually kicks off. And it's funny because Michael Bennett's probably the best example of that. There was rumors of there being a bidding war between Seattle and San Francisco, and then the Bears had him for a second. But now the reports come out that he's signing with Seattle, 4-year extension or whatever it is.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Which is kind of unfortunate.
For you, I think it's a good move on his part.
What else? What other movers and shakers do you guys got? I mean, who's got cap room? We got Oakland has like a whole salary.
Oakland and Minnesota have tons of money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vikings try to make a run at Darrelle Revis if the Bucs do end up cutting him. Because right now the whole Darrelle Revis situation in Tampa is either we're going to trade him or we're going to cut him. He's not going to be a Buccaneer next year.
I have a question about that. What is his? Does he just like piss off every coach that he like? How come this seemingly super talented dude just can't like stick anywhere? Like, what's going on? Am I missing something with this?
I think he's such a good man corner. Yeah, I think he's such a good man corner who got stuck playing in his own scheme last year, and that kind of made his stats skewed, and he's not the same player that he was in New York. And everybody butted heads with Greg Schiano, so I can't really blame Darrelle Revis for if he has a crappy attitude about playing in Tampa.
Does anyone remember what Tampa gave up to get him? Wasn't it just a first-round pick?
It was
and I guess now that if he leaves, that the Jets don't get. I think it's a first and a third, or a conditional third, and if he leaves, the Jets don't get that third-round pick or something like that.
If you're talking Tampa and you got a whole new staff and stuff like that, it might be, I don't think it's anything like he made anyone mad or he can't stick. I think it's just, a 1-year rent and let him go after that. I don't think they ever really thought about signing him long term.
Well, it just seems strange. It just seems strange that a guy with that much talent can just kind of not stick somewhere for the past couple of years. I know. Go ahead.
Like, how much did his knee injury affect him? Obviously, Tampa Bay was not on TV terribly too often last year, but is this going to be like a Champ Bailey type thing where he's like noticeably regressed?
Possible. I didn't get to see any Tampa Bay last year.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of Tampa Bay on TV, so.
Patriots played the Bucks, but
it's
he was
hard to
hurt.
tell.
That's when Revis was hurt. So I would have seen him, but he didn't play.
Speaking of the Patriots, are they going to make a move on?
Pardon the pun, but he was kind of on and on.
Are the Patriots going to make a move on Graham, you think?
I don't know. They re-signed Manawanui today, so he's like their blocking tight end. He filled in for Gronkowski, okay. By no means is he the same pass catcher or anything like that, but they're going to go after an athletic tight end, absolutely. So whether it's Jimmy Graham or maybe they go after Jason Morrow in the draft, they're going to do something. I'm just not sure what they're going to do to address that position, because with seeing how well it worked for their system with Gronk and Hernandez a few years ago, it seems like they're trying to go back to that formula.
How long until he kills somebody if he goes there? Either kill somebody.
3 hours.
3. Is he about that life? I don't think he is. He doesn't seem like the type. Is he about that life?
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy.
He doesn't seem like the type. I just didn't know. You know, some guys here low-key.
I don't see the thing. It's weird. Like, it's Foxborough. It's in between Boston and Providence. Like, how could you get in that trouble down there? You know, I just don't understand
That's the only
it.
thing you can do.
I mean,
Come on, we got more stuff to do than to shoot people. Come on.
I don't know.
Boston,
You
there
think
is,
that about
is there in
Chicago. But
Foxborough?
Yeah, I was gonna say Brian can't even talk. Chicago's got like leaps and bounds in the murder.
4 people have getting killed since, especially because it was a hot day in Chicago today. Woo! Get the guns out. That's man.
Yeah, you could say Chicago's has a higher murder rate, but none of the Bears are murdering anyone.
You don't know that.
They just deal drugs.
Yeah, there it is. Sam Hurd's long gone, man. You can't still keep that on us, bro.
Maybe that's why they're not re-signing Devin Hester. Let's talk about that, okay?
You know what? I just wrote an article for the Are We Recording blog.wordpress.com about Devin Hester. It'll be up tomorrow. You know what? I think that was more of a mutual. I think the Bears didn't want to pay him, and they would have loved to have had him back, but Hester wants to go make a little more money while he still can, which is, I get it.
You can respect that.
Yeah, you know what?
The kick return position is kind of a dying
It is.
type thing,
That's why
so,
I like
yeah,
he's not. Was he such a weird slash wideout slash corner whatever?
He's not playing. He can't do
Right,
it.
he's not going to get on the field besides return, so
Somebody
his
will take a
value
shot.
is way down.
Somebody will take a shot.
He's not
at
going
him.
to get huge money.
No,
Dallas.
but he's still going to get.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's going to pay him.
Dallas will pay him $50 million guaranteed to return.
Oh God, if he went to the Cowboys, that would be that. If he broke the record of the Cowboys uniform, that's the second worst. If the only way that would be worse is if he broke the record in a Packers uniform. That would I don't know what I would.
They don't need him.
I know. Well, I understand, but I'm just saying. That would be the worst possible thing that could ever happen to me. I think. But that's probably an exaggeration, but that's up there. Good for him. I don't know. I hope he breaks the record next year and then rides off into the sunset, and we never really hear from him again. That's how he deserves to go out. Maurice Jones-Drew, he's probably not coming back to the Jags. Everybody's fantasy question mark for the eternity. It seems like. Who do you see? Yeah. Well, what's the deal with him? They can't trade him, so they're gonna end up having to cut him, right?
I'm not sure what it is, but both of those guys that you just brought up they just play on bad teams, and they're great players. So maybe a change of scenery can help those guys out. And I'm not sure. Like you said, I'm not sure what the thing is with CJ. I think they can't trade him or something. He might have a no movement clause, so he might have to pick where he wants to go. But his salary's so high that I'm not sure who's going to be a buyer for Chris Johnson.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the only hiccup right now. I think that it's just nobody wants to take on his salary, but they don't want to just cut him and lose him for nothing because they don't. I think that's what's going on, which is kind of a sad situation considering 4 years ago where he was. 5 years ago or whatever it was.
Well, Chris Johnson actually had a decent season last year, better than he's had the last couple of years after his big breakout year. So I wouldn't. I guess the Titans hanging on to him might not be a bad thing because if they can afford to, because they got a new coaching staff in there, so a little more hope. As far as Maurice Jones-Drew, he's been hurt most of the past couple of years going down the stretch, so it'll be surprising if you see anyone with a big need at running back reach out to try and get him for a number one role. And he might be better off staying in Jacksonville because they're a quarterback away from being a wild card team maybe.
Oh,
because
that's a stretch.
It is a stretch. I'll admit it, but I mean, they got a good coaching staff. I really like Gus Bradley, and
me too.
They just need a quarterback, and they have an okay defense. I mean, if they can put up points in the NFL, that's pretty much all you need to do sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean you can't just build a quarterback.
No, I'm not putting him in the playoffs next year. But if they get a guy like Bridgewater, that puts them in a much better position than last year. They won't be competing for the first pick of the draft next year if they get Bridgewater.
It's interesting because there used to be at least a few quarterbacks that were on the market every year, and this year, I mean, there's like Josh McCown is like the only one that's
Mike Vick.
Well,
Whoever wants Ryan Mallett can have him. I'm just throwing that out there.
Mike Vick doesn't count. Where's he gonna go? Is he gonna end up on the Vikings? Is that
Supposedly
are they,
Bill O'Brien is all over that. So if he wants to take him to Houston, that's fine. Go ahead.
Minnesota actually re-signed Matt Castle, so I think they're pretty set.
I would rather have Matt Castle than Ryan Mallett.
Yeah.
I don't know. Matt Castle.
I've read that Mike Vick is disinterested in Minnesota and I think it might have been Houston or Oakland.
Be pretty Okay, I mean he's got to get in his head.
But he wants to start. Where else is he going to start?
Why? I don't know. Why does he still? He needs to like get it through his head that it's like
it's over.
To retire is really what he needs to do.
I mean, he could probably still help somebody be a backup quarterback and play 3 games when the starter gets hurt or something. I think he could still have value there, but if he thinks he's a starting quarterback anymore in this league, I mean, I hate to break it to you, Mike, but the Mike Vick experience is over.
Not only does he think he's a starter in the league, but he's just like saying he doesn't want to go to places that actually need a starting quarterback.
Well, that's just it. I was gonna say, where are where are quarterback openings in the league where he would fit? If he doesn't want Oakland, which is really the only one I can think of, and Minnesota, I mean, Matt Castle's bad, but would you take Michael Vick over Matt Castle, or not Matt Castle, Christian Ponder?
I wouldn't take any quarterback that Minnesota's run out over the past year.
Houston's gonna draft a quarterback, so that takes it out of the equation. I mean, Oakland is the only one I can think of.
So will Cleveland.
And Cleveland, I guess.
St. Louis,
not going to Cleveland, that's for sure.
St. Louis, you stick with Sam Bradford over Michael Vick.
Yeah, they're sticking with
Bradford. Yeah, but if you
Bradford
sign him for cheap money, it's not a bad backup plan. That's all I'm saying.
That's the point I was making earlier.
That's just it. No one's going. He's not going to take less money to be a number 2 quarterback because
he doesn't have a choice. I don't think.
Idiocy. Well, that's just it. I mean, he eventually will, but he doesn't want to.
Right, but eventually maybe it'll get through his head that he's not a starting caliber quarterback in this league anymore.
I think tomorrow will be the wake-up call for him when he's not the phone isn't ringing as hot as it used to be. I think that's when he'll like. I don't think it'll take him long.
I want to see Marcus Vick's tweets tomorrow.
I don't.
He might have to wait till after the draft to figure out where he's going to land.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to get a wake-up call pretty quick.
Because his quarterbacks, his draft is pretty stacked in quarterbacks who are going to be first, second-round draft picks. So he's going to probably have to play the waiting game.
Okay? Here's what I don't get. I'm watching Gruden camp on Bortles today. He did the Gruden's whole QB camp, which I like. I like Gruden grilling these dudes.
This guy.
You know what? I don't know. Are you a Gruden hater? Is that what I'm getting at here?
I love John Gruden.
No, I like Gruden actually.
Okay, all right, good. Because Gruden is
it's just funny.
I love how much that he loves everybody.
I just like doing the voice and saying this guy and making up fun.
This guy right here is the best quarterback at second down, 3-yard passes in the league right now.
The morning show in Boston on Tuesday mornings does the John Gruden "This Guy" challenge. So they bring up a clip and they're saying, well, John Gruden's going to talk about Tom Brady. Is he going to call him this guy or any variable of that? And of course, the answer is always yes. So it's pretty funny. So they just pull people on the radio. Like, oh, you want to sleeve of golf balls to make fun of John Gruden. Good for you.
This guy, Alshon Jeffrey, has the biggest hands I have ever seen on a receiver, Mike.
No, you missed it. This guy, Alshon Jeffrey, I call him up because he's got the biggest hands in the NFL today.
But anyways, I'm watching this Gruden thing, and how come every quarterback that seems to have be a good person, how come they're Tim Tebow all of a sudden? Why aren't they just is he the first quarterback to be a good person? I don't get this. This comparison literally
loves them some Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems silly to me because Tebow's awful and Blake Bortles seems to be not awful.
You say that.
Well, I guess. I mean, I guess we'll have to see.
I believe in
Bortles. I'd take him.
I guess it's a decent transition because I was going to talk about Blake Bortles here. I mean, I don't like him as a top pick. We'll put it that way.
Really?
He could. It depends on where he goes. I think he could be a good quarterback, but I don't think he's worth taking a top 10 pick on.
Todd McShay has him going first.
Yeah, I
That is so ridiculous.
I feel like the
Over
mock
Teddy
drafts
Bridgewater?
now. Honestly,
I don't know,
I'd take Johnny Football out of these quarterbacks first, but that's just one guy's
I
opinion.
would- For me, it's Teddy 1 and Johnny Football 2.
I guess well, that's another conversation for another day. I say we
Yeah, exactly. We're getting off topic.
wrap the free agency up. Anybody else have anything before we get into who you got? Anybody?
I just want to say,
Is there anybody who's gonna make a big splash tomorrow? Let's go around the ring real quick. You guys think that somebody's gonna sign with the team unexpectedly, maybe for some big money?
I think Jarius Bird's gonna get paid.
He wants $9 million a year. I think that's kind of steep.
I think so too, but I think some with this a couple teams that are dumb that have money, so he's gonna get it from somewhere. That's what I think.
Anybody
I
else
can't
got
think of
one?
anyone off. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. It kind of sucks this year for free agency because the Chiefs really don't have any money to spend, so they're kind of trying to keep guys. And it already kind of came out tonight that Dexter McCluster's looking around, which sucks. I kind of like the way he came on this past year, so hopefully he sticks around. But if he doesn't, I guess I can't fault him for that.
One more thing, I know Peppers won't be a Bear tomorrow by 6 o'clock.
Also, big money, maybe not deserve it. Eric Decker.
Oh my God.
I
definitely get way more money than he should.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you know what? If I had paid Manning throwing me the ball, I'd probably look pretty good too. That's all I gotta say about that.
Except at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, right. Okay, moving on to who you got. Let's go through the records real quick because some movement
I don't
was
want
made.
to.
Yeah, Ryan, you were sitting in last place going into last week, going into the Monday and Thursday games. You're sitting in last place. It wasn't looking good. You know, basketball, it hasn't been your really thing. You know, we've been picking some NBA games. You don't like that. Big week out of you, kiddo. 9-1. 9-1.
You know
you
what?
basically dominated everybody last week.
You know,
You jumped
it's
into
kind
second place.
It's kind of the same story as Nebraska basketball pick to finish last. They're just moving up the
Jesus
standings.
Christ,
moving
everybody
up the
drank.
standings.
All right. Chris, you had a rough go. Yeah, 2.0. I mean, 4 and 6. Well, both both Chris's. The altogether Chris record this week was
That's a great thing.
was 10 and 13. You guys were a total of actually no. What am I saying? You guys were a total of 6 games under between the two of you.
Wonderful.
You were 7 and 13 is what I meant to say.
Thanks for rubbing it in, bud.
So yeah, well let's go over the overall standings. OG 16 and 20. Pick it up, kiddo. And then Brad and 2.0. 2.0. You went from first to second to last. You're 19 and 7, and then me and Ryan are tied in second for 20 and 16, and then Josh, who has been absent the last few times, is sitting in first place, 2 games ahead at 22 and 14. So let's get into the picks for this week. Ryan, let's see if you can keep your hot streak going. Chris, let's see if the two of you together can
get as many wins as Ryan can this week.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how all of a sudden we're a team. This is nice.
Well, when you
We're not a very successful team, but we are a
That's what I
team.
mean. I'm going to group you guys together
We're
while
kind
you
of
do
like basketball most years.
Drink.
Oh, God. All right, first game.
I didn't hear that. So
Houston at Oklahoma City. Let's run through it real quick. I'll take Oklahoma City's been playing like dog doo-doo, but I think this is a big game for them. I think this is their we're not done yet game. Oklahoma City.
my heart says Oklahoma City, but my brain says Houston. I'm gonna go Houston.
Oh, look at you! You got a brain now that you go 9-1.
Yeah.
I'll take Oklahoma City.
I'll just say.
OG.
I'll go Houston on the back of Dwight Howard.
All right, next game. Providence at St. Johnny's. Big East tournament. Let's start off with the hot man again, Ryan. What do you got?
I'm I'm going to take St. John's, I think.
The Chris's? How do we feel?
OG, why don't you go first?
I'll go with Providence.
Don't sound so excited about
Yeah, dude, that's
I'll
really
go with-
convincing,
I'll
man.
go with Providence.
I guess.
Okay, Bird, I'll go with Providence.
I'm actually going to take St. John's to burst Providence's bubble and keep them from having any potential of getting to the tournament.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to go ditto on that, the Johnnies. By the way, is that Big East 30 for 30? Is that
That's this Sunday.
this Sunday?
Yeah, it's Selection Sunday.
Awesome. Okay, anyways, moving on. Portland at San Antonio. Ryan, you're going to go first every single time because, you know, you're
right.
big 9-1.
Okay, I'll take the Spurs.
Any particular reason, or are you just going to...
That's a coin flip in my mind.
There it is. I'll go Spurs. They're playing great.
I'll go with the Spurs because the Blazers are playing the opposite of great.
Which is?
Terrible. Or as
There it is.
Charles Barkley would say, terrible.
That's terrible, Arnie. Kenny Smith, that's terrible, man.
That was
Arnie, let me
actually
tell
a good
you
impression
something,
for
Arnie.
once, man.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I've been doing
give me the
impressions in
Spurs as
mirror.
well. Give me the Spurs as well. Clean
Spurs
sweep.
sweep.
All right, Golden State at LA Clippers. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Ernie. The Los Angeles Clippers are playing like the best team. I can't. Never mind. That's terrible. I'm gonna go with the Clippers. I lost it.
I got LAC as well.
This is a tough one. Damn. I guess I will take Golden State to try to pick up a game.
Wow. Do the Chris's have the same opinion yet again?
No, I think I'm going to go with the Clippers.
Actually, you guys have only agreed once, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
So we're going to be about 500 on the week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Memphis,
the only way they can do it.
Memphis at UConn. Ryan, the also great expert of all things basketball.
This is a tough one, but I think I like UConn. I like Kevin Ollie, so I'll take UConn. It is so weird that, just to think UConn is like a couple of years away from removed from a national championship, and now they have completely different coach and
they got
kind of
blown.
sit at the bottom
They
of the
got
top
blown out of the gym by Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a smart pick on my part.
Nope. No, it wasn't. That led to your demise.
It absolutely did. But I'm actually gonna pick UConn in this one. They've already beat Memphis twice this year, so going for 3. UConn.
OG.
I'm going to say that Memphis wins this one. It says Memphis at UConn, but really it's in Memphis because it's the tournament. So I'll say that they get the kind of home court advantage, and it's tough to beat the same team 3 times in a season generally if you're kind of even.
Yeah, that's exactly the reasoning behind mine. You can't beating a team 3 times. Beating the teams twice is hard enough. Beating a team 3 times gets into borderline almost impossible territory. All right, well, we'll get Brad and Josh's picks, and that looks about it. Make sure to follow us on AWR Podcast, or at AWR Podcast on Twitter.
If any alcoholics are listening, I'm sorry for the lack of Nebraska basketball stuff.
Yeah, you guys are only got a light buzz. Ryan, can you name drop them like 3 more times fast real quick?
Nebraska ball. We're going dancing. Nebraska ball.
All right.
That was 4. He said 3.
Yeah, you're suspended.
You get an extra.
Check out the site, ourrecordingblog.wordpress.com. I'm going to have a Devin Hester article up tomorrow. Also, my NBA Power Rankings will be up. We got conference tournament previews coming up for all week. Also, we're going to be starting off with our baseball preview series with the AL East coming first with a special guest writer. And that's about it. We'll see you guys Tuesday. Thanks for listening, and go Cubs.
The basketball.